All right. Happy Sabbath. Welcome. I'm Lee. Let me share this out here. Got to figure out how to do this without having to do it on my phone. Y'all don't mind waiting a minute, do you? All right. Share. We are finishing up the book of Jeremiah today. Might have to do Enoch again. I can't believe it's been 2 years. That'll be the third time. All right. All right. So, okay, let's do it. Hopefully, there's no interruptions. Oh, all right. We're in chapter 49 of Jeremiah. Let's see. Turn that off there. All right. That's kind of bright on my face there. Hold on. That was from the window. All right. So we have just a little bit from the Dead Sea Scrolls here. So that's the only thing about the scrolls. Sometimes we don't have the entire amount to be able to fix the entire Bible. So we just have to do the best with what we've got for now. Let's see. So it gets kind of wonky in the Septuagint if you're trying to follow along, because here you see verse 48 here. Some of that's missing in the Septuagint, which there's shorter and longer versions in the Dead Sea Scrolls. So that was a thing back then. And then you've got these here, and then these, and so this is what our modern Bibles are translated out, the Jewish Masoretic text, most of them, and then you've got the Vulgate, the English, and the Septuagint, and the Targums, but Targums are a rabbinic thing too. So 49 corresponds to this in the Septuagint, so it's just all over the place. Happy Sabbath, Luke. So I'll pretend I can't read that. So, so here, 50 corresponds to 27, 51 corresponds to 28, 52 corresponds to 52. So Septuagint's all over the place for Jeremiah. And in case you didn't know, what the Christians have done, so in the beginning, in the first, second, third century, they actually fought against Jewish. They kept their Septuagint and said, look, y'all, Justin Martyr said, y'all removed the Messiah out of your Hebrew scriptures, and we've got it in the Septuagint. It's proof that you removed it. And then later on, the church just abandoned that completely. So they were actually right. That they weren't Hebrews, right? Because they went back and got their Old Testament, and it's not the Old Testament that's in the Dead Sea Scrolls. So that's where the church inherited their canon from. Which, praise Yah, we had, although they weren't righteous people, they preserved some writings for us, because Levi wasn't around to do it. So that's good. That's good we got that. Praise Yah. Jeremiah, where's it at? So this is an old Septuagint. I think it's like the 20s. Bear with me if I can find it. They won't dare print this stuff these days. Okay. I think I found it. Yeah, okay. All right, so here's Jeremiah 25. This is an old Septuagint. I tried to get the oldest I could find. It's like a 1960. And it's it's old, so I don't use it very often because it could fall apart. But the oldest I could afford, because there were older ones, but a few $100s I couldn't afford that. So from this, it tells you in Jeremiah 25 at the bottom here, you see the words at the bottom. So there's a footnote there. From this point on, the older Septuagint text of Jeremiah differs markedly from the order of the presently received text. That's the Masoretic, Jewish Masoretic, revised in the Christian era by rabbinical scribes. They denied Messiah, they denied Jesus, so-called, but they let them edit their Bible. Give me a break. Those who wish to read the original order of the Septuagint text should read the following chapters in consecutive order: 25, 49, 46, 50, 51, 47, 49, 49, 49, 49. The verses jump around: 48, 25, 26 through 45, and finally 52. There's a note in an old Septuagint that they let the rabbinical scribes edit their Bible. Even the early church wouldn't do that. Nuts. Absolutely nuts. All right, anyways. Happy Sabbath all. Hope everybody's having a good Sabbath. It's not Sunday, the Roman day of the sun, Sunday worship. So you got a problem with that? Take it up with God. 49. So Jeremiah 49, concerning the Ammonites. Let's see here. So this is a scripture study for the Sabbath. If test everything, make sure, pray about it. Is what this dude's saying true? Read the word, let God show you whether it's true or not. Because I could make mistakes. I'm a man, I'm not God, right? So put your trust in God, not man. So anyways, Jeremiah 49, thus says Yahuwah, has Israel no sons? I like Yisrael, but Israel. Let's see. I'll pull that up so you can see what I'm talking about. Oh, but Israel. So he changed Jacob's name to Israel, and you can see here. Let me zoom in a little bit. That good? So, that yod there is not a J or an I. That's a y. It's a yish, sh, yis, not sh. Sorry, that's a scene. Yis, ra, el. That's how you pronounce it with the vowel points. It could have been Yashrael or Yasrael, but that's what it is with the vowel points there. Yisrael. So that's what I read there. Has he no heir? Why then has Milcom dispossessed Gad, and his people settled in its towns? Therefore the time is surely coming, says Yahuwah, when I will sound the battle alarm against Rabbah of the Ammonites. It shall become a desolate mound, and its villages shall be burned with fire. Then Yisrael shall dispossess those who dispossessed him, says Yahuwah. Interesting. So the captivity of Israel returned. He dispossesses those who dispossessed him. Now, even the Jewish encyclopedia will say that, like, I think it says their modern Judaism comes from rabbinical Phariseeism. Like, their own books say that. And they control the land now. And who dispossessed Israel before? right? Now with Rome, but they took over the priesthood and everything. So now he's going to turn the tide, put the curses on them, and have Israel, real Israel, dispossess them. Well, O Heshbon, for Ai is laid waste. Cry out, O daughters of Rabbah, put on sackcloth, lament, slash yourselves with whips. For Milcom shall go into exile with his priest and his attendants. So Milcom, let's go look at that one. Does it say Milcom? Verse 3. It is for their king. Huh. Where's Milcom at? Jeremiah 49. Hebrew, their king. Oh, it says Milcom in the Greek, Vulgate, and Syriac. That's why. Hebrew says their king. So it gives you the Greek. So Milcom shall go into exile, and it was changed in the. Either the Masoretic text is the original reading, or it was changed to their king, Melech. Milcom, Melech. And that could be read. So if the letters are the same, okay, let's go back over here. We only got 3 chapters today, so we got a little time to. Okay, get out of here. Get out of here. Thank you. Verse 3. Yep. It's got king in there too. Melech. Malcolm. All right, you got to go over. There we go. So Jeremiah. "46, 48, 51. This is Halot here. Hebrew and Aramaic lexicon of the Old Testament. One of the best lexicons you can get. And this is just Lexham Hebrew Bible. So Milcom. It's got the letters for it. Get the Septuagint here. So 49 is first 5 verses is 30 first 5 verses. So go to 30. Got to have the table. It doesn't say it concerning Idumea. Concerning the Ammonites. Put on sackcloth, lament. There's no investment on. That does not match. Different. It says 49. That's a lot different. All right, Milcom shall go into exile with his priest and his attendants. Why do you boast in your strength? Your strength is ebbing, O faithless daughter, who trusted in her treasures, saying, who will attack me? I'm going to bring terror upon you, says Yahuwah, Elohim of hosts, or Yahuwah, God of hosts, from all your neighbors, and you will be scattered, each headlong, with no one to gather the fugitives. But afterwards I will restore the fortunes of the Ammonites, says Yahuwah. Judgment on Edom, concerning Edom. Interesting. Obadiah 1. Thus says Yahuwah of hosts, is there no longer wisdom in Teman? Has counsel perished from the prudent? Has their wisdom vanished? Flee, turn back, get down low, inhabitants of Dedan. For I will bring the calamity of Esau upon him, the time when I punish him. If grape gatherers came to you, would they not leave gleanings? If thieves came by night, even they would pillage only what they wanted. But as for me, I have stripped Esau bare, I have uncovered his hiding places, and he is not able to conceal himself. His offspring are destroyed, his kinsfolk and his neighbors, and he is no more. I made Esau bare, uncovered his secret places. He will not be able to hide himself. So it matches what we have in the Masoretic text. Verse 49 is 29, verse 7 to the end. Doesn't even match. How do they get that? Verse 7 to, there's no verse 7 to the end. There's verse 7, that's it. Yep. Okay. So 10 there in the Dead Sea Scrolls, and then 11, leave your orphans, I will keep them alive, and let your widows trust in me. For thus says Yahuwah, if those who do not deserve to drink the cup still have to drink it, shall you be the one to go unpunished? You shall not go unpunished, you must drink it. For by myself I have sworn, says Yahuwah, that Basra shall become an object of horror and ridicule, a waste and an object of cursing, and all her towns shall be perpetual waste. See, so God can do this. By myself I have sworn. He can swear by himself. That's how great he is. So he's sworn this will happen, and it's going to happen. There's no if, maybe. I have heard tidings from Yahuwah, and a messenger has been sent among the nations. Gather yourselves together and come against her, and rise up for battle. For I will make you least among the nations, despised by mankind. The terror you inspire and the pride of your heart have deceived you, you who live in the clefts of the rock, who hold the height of the hill. Interesting. Selah. Although you make your nest as high as the eagles, from there I'll bring you down, says Yahuwah. Edom shall become an object of horror. Everyone who passes by it will be horrified and will hiss because of all its disasters, as when Sodom and Gomorrah and their neighbors were overthrown, says Yahuwah. No one shall live there, nor shall anyone settle in it. Like a lion coming up from the thickets of the Jordan to a perennial pasture, I will suddenly chase Edom away from it, and I'll appoint over it whomever I choose. For who is like me? Who can summon me? Who is the shepherd who can stand before me? That's interesting. So when you know who's the person talking, that kind of gets it where, like, who is the shepherd? Who's this person that's going to stand before him? Most would say, God's talking, this is Messiah. I differ with that, but I'll digress. Therefore, hear the plan that Yahuwah has made against Edom and the purposes that he has formed against the inhabitants of Teman. Surely the little ones of the flock shall be dragged away. Surely their fold shall be appalled at their fate. At the sound of their fall, the earth shall tremble. The sound of their cry shall be heard at the Red Sea. Look, he shall mount up and swoop down like an eagle and spread his wings against Basra, and the heart of the warriors of Edom on that day shall be like the heart of a woman in labor. woman in travail talk. Concerning Damascus, Hamath and Arphad are confounded, for they have heard bad news. They melt in fear. They are troubled like the sea. They cannot be quiet. Damascus has become feeble. She turned to flee, and panic seized her. Anguish and pangs seize her, as of a woman in labor. How is the famous city not forsaken, the town of my joy? Therefore her young men shall fall in her squares, and all her soldiers shall be destroyed on that day, says Yahuwah of hosts. And I will kindle a fire at the wall of Damascus, and it shall devour the strongholds of Ben-Hadad. So, or Ben-Hadad, son of Hadad. Concerning Kedar and the kingdoms of Hazor, that King Nebuchadrezzar of Babylon defeated. Thus says Yahuwah, rise up, advance against Kedar, destroy the people of the east. Interesting. They take their tents and their flocks, their curtains and all their goods. They carry off their camels for themselves, and a cry shall go up. Terror is all around. This can be shout, so it can have a different connotation in English. So their shout shall go up. Terror is all around. Flee, wander far away, hide in deep places, O inhabitants of Hazor, says Yahuwah, for King Nebuchadrezzar of Babylon has made a plan against you and formed a purpose against you. Rise up, advance against a nation at ease that lives secure, says Yahuwah. Interesting. That has no gates or bars, that lives alone. Their camels shall become plunder, their herds of cattle a spoil. I will scatter to every wind those who have shaved temples, and I will bring calamity against them from every side, says Yahuwah. So Hazor shall become a lair of jackals and everlasting waste. No one shall live there, nor shall anyone settle in it. The word of Yahuwah that came to the prophet Jeremiah concerning Elam at the beginning of the reign of King Zedekiah of Yehuda. Thus says Yahuwah of hosts, I am going to break the bow of Elam, the mainstay of their might, and I will bring upon Elam the four winds from the four quarters of heaven. You see that in Enoch. I will scatter them to all these winds, and there shall be no nation to which exiles from Elam shall not come. So, oops. Go back. Come on now. Click right. There we go. The winds. Where's the winds at? This is where the Sefer app comes in handy. Enoch 18. 18. I saw the treasuries of all the winds. I saw how he had furnished with them the whole creation and the firm foundations of the earth. I saw the cornerstone of the earth. I saw the four winds which bear the earth and the firmament of heaven. I saw how the winds stretch out the vaults of heaven and have their station between heaven and earth. These are the pillars of heaven. I saw the winds of heaven which turn and bring the circumference of the sun and all their stars to their setting. This is scripture. Enoch is sacred writing, and it says the sun and the stars move, not the earth. I saw the winds of the earth carrying the clouds. I saw the paths of the Malachim. I saw at the end of the earth the firmament of the heaven above. And I proceeded and saw a place which burns day and night, where there are 7 mountains of magnificent stones, 3 toward the east and 3 towards the south. So, yeah, it talks about God's throne. Pretty cool. Where's that at? That's the pillars winds. 33. Maybe that's it. Tons of information in Enoch. And it's not that long either. 33. Yep, this goes with the calendar stuff. So if you're looking to understand the calendar, it's in other places in Enoch too. 34. The Sephirat does not match perfectly. And from thence I went towards the north to the ends of the earth. There I saw a great and glorious device at the ends of the whole earth. And here I saw 3 portals of heaven open in the heaven. Through each of them proceed north winds. When they blow, there is cold, hail, frost, snow, dew, and rain. And out of one portal they blow for good. But when they blow through the other 2 portals, it is with violence and affliction on the earth, and they blow with violence. So see, so this is a negative. He's going to break the bow of Elam of these winds. So in the negative, I think there's some other sections in. Yeah, it talks about winds a lot in Enoch. Yep. So 36, I will scatter them to all these winds, and there shall be no nation to which the exiles from Elam shall not come. I will terrify Elam before their enemies and before those who seek their life. I will bring disaster upon them, my fierce anger, says Yahuwah. So he's got fierce anger. I will send the sword after them until I have consumed them. I will set my throne in Elam and destroy their kings and officials, says Yahuwah. But in the latter days I will restore the fortunes of Elam, says Yahuwah. So, yep. So the Vulgate reading, the Syriac, Vulgate, and Targum reading, right? So there's a lot of other witnesses to what the Scripture says. People just take the Masoretic text and they're like, yeah. So 50, the word that Yahuwah spoke concerning Babylon, concerning the land of the Chaldeans, by the prophet Jeremiah. Let me check over here. Oh, we got a little bit more. Declare among the nations and proclaim, set up a banner and proclaim. Do not conceal it. Say, Babylon is taken, Baal is put to shame, Merodach is dismayed, her images are put to shame, her idols are destroyed. For out of the north a nation has come up against her. It shall make her land a desolation, and no one shall live in it. Both man and animals shall flee away. In those days and in that time, the scroll itself contains a correction here. It says that at those time with the Hebrew word those marked out and changed to the Hebrew word for that. So at that time. So it gives timing in that time. Yep. So it matches. Says Yahuwah, the children of Israel will come, they and the children of Yehuda together. They will go on their way weeping and will seek Yahuwah their God. So second Exodus, end times. They will inquire concerning Zion with their faces turned toward it, saying, come and join yourselves to Yahuwah in an everlasting covenant that will not be forgotten. So the implication here is they have not joined themselves to Yahuwah yet, which is absolutely true. Took me a while to wrap my head around this. I guess it just wasn't time yet. It was when I was struggling to figure out why people were not understanding certain things or fighting against certain things, and everybody was all over the place. And then Yah pointed this out to me. At least I believe he did, because I was trying to figure out like what's going on here. So Ezekiel 20:37, I will cause you to pass under the rod, and I'll bring you into the bond of the covenant. And just to give you a little context here. So I will bring you into the wilderness of the people, and there will I plead with you face to face. And Dead Sea Scrolls says something about some people not going into the wilderness to join them. Not good. When it's time to go, some people are not going to go. Like as I pleaded with your fathers in the wilderness of the land of Egypt, so will I plead with you, says Yahuwah God. Right. So then I will cause you to pass under the rod and bring you into the covenant. And I will purge out from among you the rebels, them that transgress against me. I will bring them forth out of the country where they sojourn. They shall not enter the land of Israel, and you shall know that I am Yahuwah. So some people don't even go to join them. And then some people don't make it that join them. And then the next group makes it into the land. Enoch chapter 50 is another place. And where's that? Deuteronomy's another. I noticed this the other day. Deuteronomy 30. So he's gonna. So when you call us to mind among the nations, and shall return to Yahuwah thy God and obey his voice according to all that I command thee this day, thou and thy children with all thy heart, with all thy soul, that then Yahuwah will turn thy captivity and have compassion on thee, and will return and gather thee from the nations whither Yahuwah thy God hath scattered thee. It's a promise. If any of thee be driven into the outmost parts of heaven, from there will Yahuwah thy God gather you, and from there will he fetch you. And Yahuwah thy God will bring you into the land which your fathers possessed, and you shall possess it, and he will do you good and multiply you above your fathers. So, and Yahuwah your God will circumcise your heart, the heart of your seed, to love Yahuwah your God with all your heart, with all your soul, that you may live. Then he'll put the curses on your enemies, and you shall return and obey the voice and do his commandments. Where's it at? Well, that's interesting. KJV reads a little different. Oh, maybe that's the reason I noticed that the other day. All right, so he does this right here, and he circumcises you, and then you shall obey Yahuwah, and he will make you abundantly prosperous. So there's like a timing there. They remember God, start returning to his commandments, they get brought out, then he circumcises the heart, then you're obedient, you make it in. So same thing here. Come and join yourselves to Yahuwah in everlasting covenant that will not be forgotten. My people have been lost sheep. Their shepherds have caused them to go astray. They have turned them away from on the mountains. They have gone from mountain to hill. They have forgotten their resting place. 56. All who found them have devoured them, and their enemies have said, we are not guilty, because they have sinned against Yahuwah, the true pasture, Yahuwah, the hope of their ancestors. Flee from Babylon and go out of the land of Chaldeans and be like male goats leading the flock. That's interesting, because Chaldean, I think, is equated to Kittim in Rome. For I am going to stir up and bring against Babylon a company of great nations from the land of the north, and they shall array themselves against her. From there she shall be taken. Their arrows are like the arrows of a skilled warrior who does not return empty-handed. Chaldea shall be plundered. All who plunder her shall be sated, says Yahuwah. So it's like two different things here. Like one's Babylon, one's Chaldea. So flee Babylon and separating, go out of the land of the Chaldeans. To me, it's like Revelation is this Jerusalem, the harlot. And there's a harlot in Scripture. It's Jerusalem. all through. And then Chaldeans roam, and Rome controls the world, right? So Chaldea shall be plundered. Though you rejoice, though you exult, O plunderers of my heritage, who's taken the land for themselves. United Nations. Though you frisk about like a heifer on the grass, and neigh like stallions, your mother shall be utterly ashamed, and she who bore you shall be disgraced. She shall be the last of the nations, a wilderness, dry land, and a desert. Because of the wrath of Yahuwah, she shall not be inhabited, but shall be in utter desolation. Everyone who passes by Babylon shall be appalled and hiss because of all her wounds. Take up your positions around Babylon, all you who bend the bow. Shoot at her, spare no arrows, for she has sinned against Yahuwah. Raise a shout against her from all sides. So she sinned against Yahuwah. How did she do that? The land is corrupted. His land. He already knows the rest of the earth is corrupted. I don't think he's not. To me, he's not worried about Rome being corrupted because that's outside of his land, right? That's the same reason he cleared out the land when the people came back from the Exodus. The people had that the Canaanites and all the other people had corrupted his land. So he purified his land. He didn't go out and purify the earth, right? He set angels, Deuteronomy 32, he set angels over the nations to lead them astray. Book of Jubilees, right? So they're specifically sent there to lead those people astray. But his land, so Babylon, she has sinned against Yahuwah by the inhabitants. Raise a shout against her from all sides. She has surrendered. Her bulwarks have fallen. Her walls are thrown down. For this is the vengeance of Yahuwah. Take vengeance on her. Do to her as she has done. Key word. Revelation 18:6, reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her double according to her works. In the cup which she hath filled, fill to her double. It's kind of interesting because Israel's regathered to the land, but then it says, come out of her, my people. They've drunk of, the nations have drunk of the wine. So bad doctrine of her fornication. Plagues. Burned with fire. God judges her. Yep. It's interesting. I don't claim to understand it all, but cut off from Babylon the sower and the wielder of the sickle in time of harvest, because of the destroying sword, all of them shall return to their own people. All of them shall flee to their own land. So the people there that are in that land are not original. They return to their own land. Israel is a hunted sheep driven away by lions. First, the king of Assyria devoured it, and now at the end, King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon has gnawed its bones. That's interesting. At the end, lions was Assyria. Therefore, thus says Yahuwah of hosts, the God of Israel, I'm going to punish the king of Babylon and his land as I punished the king of Assyria. I'll restore Israel to its pasture, and it shall feed on Carmel and in Bashan and on the hills of Ephraim, and in Gilead its hunger shall be satisfied. That's why I don't like doing the prophets very much. Extremely difficult. In those days and at that time, says Yahuwah, the iniquity of Israel shall be sought, and there shall be none, and the sins of Yehuda, and none shall be found, for I will pardon the remnant that I have spared. So Israel never returned. That can't be previous, right? Yeah, it does seem like it's speaking about ancient Babylon, but up here it's not, right? See? Second Exodus. Israel never returned. People Israel shall come, and Judah together. Right? That's what's so difficult about it. The iniquity of Israel shall be sought, and there shall be none. When does that happen? The redeemed of Yahuwah. None shall be found. I will pardon the remnant that I have spared. That is not what it says about when they returned from Babylon in Ezra's time. It says they were groping for the way and they couldn't find it. Go up to the land of Miriathim, go up against her and attack the inhabitants of Pekod and utterly destroy the last of them, says Yahuwah. That's why when I'm reading prophecy, I'm looking for key things, just what I understand. So like key factors like this here can tell you when it's happening. This here, same thing, when it's happening. I don't have to understand all of it. It'd be good if I did, but if I can just get a couple of anchors to anchor myself, like a foundation, a good foundation, then like I can learn some other stuff, but I don't have to understand it all to be anchored in where it's at. Miriathim, attack the inhabitants of Pekod, utterly destroy the last of them, says Yahuwah, do all that I have commanded you. So, who do you command? Israel. What's this here? War scroll. The noise of battle is in the land and great destruction. In the land can also be the earth. How the hammer of the whole earth is cut down and broken. How Babylon has become a horror among the nations. I set a snare for you, and you were caught, O Babylon, but you did not know it. You were discovered in the seas because you challenged Yahuwah. Yahuwah has opened his armory and brought out the weapons of his wrath, Israel. For Yahuwah, God of hosts, has a task in the land of the Chaldeans. Come against her from every quarter, open her granaries, pile her up like heaps of grain, and destroy her utterly. Let nothing be left of her. So he does this to Rome at the end. Kill all her bulls, let them go down to slaughter. Alas for them, their day has come, the time of their punishment. Their day has come. Listen, fugitives and refugees from the land of Babylon are coming to declare in Zion the vengeance of Yahuwah our God, the vengeance for his temple. Interesting. Did that happen before? No. Israel, coming from the land of Babylon, the land of Babylon, to declare in Zion the vengeance of Yahuwah and the day of recompense, right? We see that in scriptures. Let's see. I could be totally wrong, but So Isaiah 65:6, behold, is written before me, I will not keep silence, but will recompense, even recompense into their bosom your iniquities and the iniquities of your fathers together, says Yahuwah, which have burned incense upon the mountains and blasphemed me upon the hills. What hills and mountains are you talking about? Is he talking about just regular hills and mountains? No, he's talking about his hills and mountains. Therefore, I'll measure their former work into their bosom. Interesting. Like Paul was on to that. Zephaniah 1:15. This was previous recompense. Hebrews 10:30. For we know that that hath said, vengeance belongs unto me. I will recompense, says Yahuwah. And again, Yahuwah shall judge his people. When does he do that? When he returns. Vengeance for his temple. Interesting. Summon archers against Babylon, all who bend the bow, and camp all around her. Let no one escape. Repay her according to her deeds. Revelation. Just as she has done has done due to her, for she has arrogantly defied Yahuwah, the Holy One of Israel. That's not Babylon, like the country Babylon. Therefore, her young men shall fall in her squares, and all her soldiers shall be destroyed on that day, says Yahuwah. I'm against you, O arrogant one, says Yahuwah, Elohim of hosts, God of hosts, for your day has come, the time when I will punish you. The arrogant one shall stumble and fall, with no one to raise him up. I will kindle a fire in its cities, and it will devour everything around him. Thus says Yahuwah of hosts, the people of Israel are oppressed, and so also are the people of Yehuda. Two different groups. All their captors have held them fast and refused to let them go. Exodus, Moses said, Yahuwah says, let my people go. Their Redeemer is strong. Yahuwah of hosts is his name. The redeemed of Yahuwah, right? You're looking for anchors in Scripture. Different words and different phrases that can anchor you to different spots in Scripture. That's how Hebrew works. Psalms 107:2, let the redeemed of Yahuwah say so, whom he hath redeemed from the hand of the enemy, from the land of the enemy. He will surely plead their cause, that he may give rest to the earth, but unrest to the inhabitants of Babylon. Rest to the earth. Also in Revelation. Isaiah 14:7, the whole earth is at rest, and it's quiet. They break forth into singing. This is right before the war scroll. Somewhere in Revelation. Silence, something like that. A sword against the Chaldeans, says Yahuwah, and against the inhabitants of Babylon, and against her officials and her sages. A sword against the diviners, so that they may become fools. Let's see. Let me look at this right here, right quick, so we can establish something else. Chaldea. So here, so you know, it's just not me making up stuff in my head. I'm thinking all this scripture stuff in my head and stuff as I'm going. But if I don't show you, commentary on Habakkuk. For behold, I rouse the Chaldeans, that bitter and hasty nation. So this is Habakkuk. Interpreted, this concerns the Kittim, who are quick and valiant in war, causing many to perish. All the world shall fall under the dominion of the Kittim, and the wicked, they shall not believe in the laws of God. Kittim is Rome. And they're saying the Chaldeans here is Rome. So I'm not just making it up, Now, it's up to you whether you believe them or not, but that's up to you. It's not on me. So a sword against the Chaldeans, says Yahuwah, and against the inhabitants of Babylon, against her officials and her sages, a sword against the diviners, so that they may become fools, a sword against her warriors, so that they may be dismayed, a sword against her horses and against her chariots, and against all the foreign troops in her midst, so that they may become women. It is what it is, man. It's become like women, weak. A sword against her treasures, that they may be plundered, a drought against her waters, that they may be dried up. For it is a land of images, and they go mad over idols. Yep. Therefore wild animals shall live with hyenas in Babylon, and ostriches shall inhabit her. She shall never again be peopled or inhabited for all generations. As when God overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah and their neighbors, says Yahuwah, so no one shall live there, nor shall anyone settle in her. So there's actually, so Babylon, to my understanding, the harlot rides the beast, and the beast is Rome, the fourth kingdom, second Esdras, second Baruch, Daniel. It's all over the place. And we know it's talking about the Kittim also, Babylon, the harlot, rides the beast. And you can't be a harlot and a beast. Like the beast ain't riding itself. That's the way I look at it. So somebody's got to be the harlot. Mystery Babylon is the harlot. But if it rides the beast, then the whole encompassing, so riding is controlling. If it controls the beast, then all that's under its dominion too. It can also be called Babylon, right? That's where it kind of gets sticky at. So, look, a people coming from the north, a mighty nation, and many kings are stirring from the farthest parts of the earth. They wield bow and spear. They are cruel and have no mercy. Rome, just like Rome. The sound of them is like the roaring sea. They ride upon horses, set in array as a warrior for battle against you, O daughter Babylon. This could also be Israel, but I don't think so. Many nations, mighty nation, and many kings. Maybe. Yeah, that could be Israel. Because if they're coming to execute God's wrath, then no mercy. But cruel? Could be. The king of Babylon heard news of them, and his hands fell helpless. Anguish seized him, pain like of a woman in labor. Like a lion coming up from the thickets of the Jordan to a perennial pasture. Interesting, it mentions the Jordan. I will suddenly chase them away from her, and I will appoint over her whomever I choose. Who's he going to appoint over? For who is like me, who can summon me? Who is the shepherd who can stand before me? Therefore, hear the plan that Yahuwah has made against Babylon. So he said this twice. Who is like me, who can summon me? Who is the shepherd who can stand before me? Therefore, here's the plan that Yahuwah has made against Babylon and the purposes that he has formed against the land of the Chaldeans. Surely, so it says Babylon, and then it says land of Chaldeans. Surely the little ones of the flock shall be dragged away. Surely the fold shall be appalled at their fate. At the sound of the capture of Babylon, the earth shall tremble. Interesting. And a cry shall be heard among the nations. See what we got over here. Be good if we had all these in the Dead Sea Scrolls, but we don't. So it could be a little bit different. The Hebrew a lot of times fixes some of the miscommunication. So thus says Yahuwah, I'm going to stir up a destructive wind against Babylon, against the inhabitants of Leb Kamai. That is Chaldea. And I will send winnowers to Babylon. They shall winnow her. They shall empty her land when they come against her from every side on the day of trouble. Day of trouble. Interesting. That's end times. Or it can be end times. Same thing. Zephaniah 1:15. The end. That's an anchor. It's obviously the end. So that's an anchor for other scriptures. Psalm 102. The end. Second Exodus. Don't take my word for it. Read the whole thing. Read 96 through 101, 102, 103. They go together. A lot of times people read the Psalms for encouragement and they don't realize David's prophesying of the end, right? It's not just about David's time and David. Psalm 50, call upon me in the day of trouble. I will deliver thee and thou shalt glorify me. That's the end. Psalms 50 is quoted in the Dead Sea Scrolls as talking about the end. Jeremiah 30. Yep. Jeremiah 30, second Exodus, time of Jacob's trouble. It goes on and on and on and on. Let not the archer bend his bow, and let not him array himself in his coat of mail. Do not spare her young men, utterly destroy her entire army. They shall fall down slain in the land of the Chaldeans. There's that again. That's the land of the Chaldeans. And wounded in her streets. Indeed, Yisrael and Yehuda have not been forsaken. Interesting. Second Exodus again. By their God, Yahuwah of hosts, If this was previous Babylon and land of Chaldeans, it would not have this right here, an anchor. Though their land is full of guilt before the Holy One of Israel. Interesting. Their land is full of guilt. Land of Israel. Flee from the midst of Babylon. Save your lives, each of you. What do you say also? Like, he's prophesying of the end. Let's see. Mark 13:16, let him not turn back. They'll take a lot of these and put it to like 70 AD or something. Jeez. Let's see. Said Luke 17:31, that day he which shall be upon the housetop and its stuff in the house, let him not come down to take it away. He that is in the field, let him not likewise not return back. He said, remember Lot's wife, right? Don't look back also. Yeah. Don't look back. Say, do not perish because of her guilt. Same thing in Revelation. Say, be not partakers of her sins, right? I think first Baruch. Baruch's also a good anchor spot where you look at Jerusalem being the harlot. Jeremiah, where he divorced. You know, that was always the harlot. Revelation 18:4, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that you be not partakers of her sins, that you receive not of her plagues. So we don't look at New Testament at the end and say, okay, look at this. This is new. If that's our anchor point. If something's been already established in the previous scriptures, including all the removed books people don't want to use, that's your anchor point. It doesn't change. You don't take that and twist it around when you get all the way over here. So do not perish because of her guilt, for this is the time of Yahuwah's vengeance. He is repaying her what is due. Babylon was a golden cup in Yahuwah's hand. So, Revelation 17:4, the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, decked with gold, precious stones, and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. Parable of the Vineyard's got a good video where he puts Revelation beside Solomon's temple and all the different stuff, and it matches, right? All the goods match. So, making all the earth drunken, the doctrine, the church's doctrine, right? And you can see the church has been influenced by a certain group. The nations drank of her wine, bad doctrine. So the nations went mad, bad doctrine. Suddenly Babylon has fallen and is shattered. Wail for her, bring balm for her wound. Perhaps she may be healed. We tried to heal Babylon, but she could not be healed. Forsake her and let each of us go to our own country. For her judgment has reached up to heaven and has been lifted up even to the skies. So now they're forsake her, and then they're going to go and leave her and go to their own country, which means they had a country they came from. Yahuwah has brought forth our vindication. Come, let us declare in Zion the work of Yahuwah our God. So now going to Zion, this could also be the other way, like Israel leaving Babylon and going to Zion. Very well could be. But this is coming to Zion. Sharpen the arrows, fill the quivers. Ephraim's his arrow, right? Scriptural definitions only, not made up stuff in our head. As much as possible, right? Ephraim, where's it at? Judah, my bow. Yep. So Zechariah 9:13. When I built Judah for me, so Judah's bow, filled the bow with Ephraim, Ephraim's his arrows, and raised up thy sons, O Zion, against thy sons, O Greece. Israel made thee as a sword of a mighty man. So he's raising up Israel at the end. Greece doesn't replace Israel. Fill the quivers. Yahuwah has stirred up the spirit of the kings of the Medes because his purpose concerning Babylon is to destroy it. Now, this is interesting. It says kings of the Medes. So it's kind of like, huh? For that is the vengeance of Yahuwah, vengeance for his temple. Raise a standard against the walls of Babylon, make the watch strong, post sentinels. This is also watchmen, post watchmen, prepare the ambushes, for Yahuwah has both planned and done what he spoke concerning the inhabitants of Babylon. You who live by mighty waters, rich in treasures, your end has come. The threat of your life is cut. So, yeah, some of this stuff can be, that's why I just go by exactly what I can understand, because some can be added, some can be mistranslated. There's a lot of errors that can get in there, and you can't let the errors affect solid, what you know is solid, right? It's just good to ignore it sometimes. If you don't understand it, don't let it screw up your other understanding. Prepare the ambushes, for you who has both planned and done what he spoke concerning the inhabitants of Babylon, you who live by mighty waters, rich in treasures, waters as people. Your end has come, the thread of your life is cut. Yahuwah of hosts has sworn by himself, surely I will fill you with troops like a swarm of locusts, and they shall raise a shout of victory over you. Who's he going to fill with troops? Israel. It is he who made the earth by his power, who established the world by his wisdom, and by his understanding stretched out the heavens. Who did that? Messiah. When he utters his voice, there is a tumult of waters in the heavens, and he makes the mist rise from the ends of the earth. He makes lightnings for the rain. He brings out the wind from his storehouses. Everyone is stupid and without knowledge. Goldsmiths are put to shame by their idols, for their images are false, and there is no breath in them. They are worthless, a work of delusion. At the time of their punishment, they shall perish. Not like these is the portion of Jacob, for he is the one who formed all things. Who's Jacob's portion? Messiah. John chapter 1, Colossians. And Israel is the tribe of his inheritance. Yahuwah of hosts is his name. Interesting. You are my war club, my weapon of battle. With you I smash the nations. With you I destroy kingdoms. With you I smash the horse and its rider. With you I smash the chariot and the charioteer. With you I smash man and woman. With you I smash old man and boy. With you I smash young man and girl. That's the reason people like Marcion wanted to separate the New Testament and the Old Testament, because he couldn't wrap his head around the God of the Old Testament kicking it. But, put it that way. I mean, no mercy. With you I smash governors and deputies. I smash farmers and their teams. Like, got to get out of that kumbaya New Testament. When he returns, he's coming with fire. I will repay. The New Testament's good, but it can't be not taken out of context. I will repay Babylon and all the inhabitants of Chaldea before your very eyes for all the wrong they have done to Zion, says Yahuwah. So they have done something to Israel, his land. I'm against you, O destroying mountain, says Yahuwah, that destroys the whole earth. I will stretch out my hand against you and roll you down from the crags. So his mountain, on his holy mountain, right? Isaiah 11:9, they shall not hurt nor destroy any in all my holy mountain, for the earth shall be full of Yahuwah's knowledge of Yahuwah as the waters cover the sea. This can also be the land. The land shall be full of the knowledge. Everybody, Isaiah 2, everybody comes to learn God's law in the land. The land shall be full of the knowledge of Yahuwah. It could be earth too. But see, why would he say they shall not hurt or destroy in my holy mountain if they weren't already doing it, right? I'm against you, O destroying mountain, says Yahuwah, that destroys the whole earth. We know where that's coming from. I will stretch out my hand against you and roll you down from the crags and make you a burned out mountain. Enoch chapter 1. No stone shall be taken from you for a corner, and no stone for a foundation, but you shall be a perpetual waste, says Yahuwah. That's interesting. He rebuilds it there. Raise a standard in the land, blow the trumpet among the nations, prepare the nations for war against her, summon against her the kingdoms, Ararat, Mani, and Ashkenaz. Appoint a marshal against her, bring up horses like bristling locusts, prepare the nations for war against her, the king of the Medes with their governors and deputies. The Medes is not just back then. And every land under their dominion, the land trembles and writhes, for Yahuwah's purposes against Babylon stand, to make the land of Babylon desolation without inhabitant. The warriors of Babylon have given up fighting. They remain in their strongholds. Their strength has failed. They have become women. They become women. Her buildings are set on fire. Her bars are broken. And that's not talking down to women. That's the fact. One runner runs to meet another, and one messenger to meet another, to tell the king of Babylon that his city is taken from end to end. The forts have been seized, the marshes have been burned with fire, and the soldiers are in panic. For thus says Yahuwah of hosts, the Elohim of Yisrael, daughter Babylon is like a threshing floor, keyword, at the time when it is trodden, yet a little while, and the time of her harvest will come. The daughter. Zephaniah 3:14, sing, O daughter of Zion, shout, O Yisrael, be glad and rejoice with all the heart, O daughter of Jerusalem. Isaiah 47, come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon, sit on the ground, there is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. Zechariah 9:9, rejoice greatly, O daughter of Zion, shout, O daughter of Jerusalem, behold, thy king is coming unto thee. Right? It's all over the place. He tells about his people. And his land. He's zealous for his land. Daughter of Babylon is like a threshing floor at the time when it is trodden the wine press. Revelation 14:20, the winepress was trodden without the city, and blood came out of the winepress, even unto the horses' bridles, by the space of 1,600 furlongs. Revelation 19:15, out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword, that with it he shall smite the nations, he shall rule them with a rod of iron, and he treadeth the winepress of the fierceness, the wrath of Almighty God. Same thing here. Yet a little while, and the time of her harvest will come. There's that harvest. Right. Wheat. Well, it's a long video. I wasn't trying to go long. Matthew 13:30, let both grow together until the harvest. In the time of the harvest, while I say to the reapers, gather you together first the tares and bind them in bundles to burn them, but gather the wheat into my barn. It says the angels will come. Just like in the Dead Sea Scrolls, the angels come too, kick tail. So, yeah, the reapers are the angels. The harvest is the end of the world. Why would he say that? King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon has devoured me. He has crushed me. He has made me an empty vessel. He has swallowed me like a monster. That trips people up too. King Nebuchadnezzar, well, that was back then. Well, maybe he's symbolic for something too. He has filled his belly with my delicacies. He has spewed me out. May my torn flesh be avenged on Babylon. The inhabitants of Zion shall say, may my blood be avenged on the inhabitants of Chaldea. Jerusalem shall say, therefore thus says Yahuwah, I'm going to defend your cause and take vengeance for you. I will dry up her sea and make her fountain dry. Sea as peoples. And Babylon shall become a heap of ruins, a den of jackals, an object of horror and of hissing without inhabitant. Like lions, they shall roar together. They shall growl like lions' whelps. When they are inflamed, I will set out their drink and make them drunk until they become merry, and then sleep a perpetual sleep and never wake, says Yahuwah. I will bring them down like lambs to the slaughter, like rams and goats. How Shishak is taken, the pride of the whole earth is seized. How Babylon has become an object of horror among the nations. The sea has risen over Babylon. She has been covered by its tumultuous waves. This didn't happen before. Her cities have become an object of horror, a land of drought and a desert, a land in which no one lives and through which no mortal passes. I will punish Bel in Babylon and make him disgorge what he has swallowed. The nation shall no longer stream to him. The wall of Babylon has fallen. Come out of her, my people. Same thing in Revelation. Save your lives, each of you, from the fierce anger of Yahuwah. Do not be faint-hearted or fearful at the rumors heard in the land. 1 year, one rumor comes, the next year another. Rumors of violence in the land and of ruler against ruler. Matthew 24:6, you shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. Surely the days are coming when I will punish the images of Babylon. Her whole land shall be put to shame, and all her slain shall fall in her midst. Then the heavens and the earth and all that is in them shall shout for joy over Babylon. Interesting. Interesting. Okay, get off of there. Day of Vengeance, Deuteronomy 32. Arrows, same thing. Praise, O heavens, his people. Worship him, all you gods, for he will avenge the blood of his children, his sons, and take vengeance on his adversaries. He will repay those who hate him and cleanse the land for his people. Praise, O heavens. That's found in the Dead Sea Scrolls. Then the heavens and the earth and all that's in them shall shout for joy over Babylon. See how a little context from a manuscript that showed what the original reading was can bring out? For the destroyer shall come against her out of the north, says Yahuwah. Out of the north is also, he sits in the north. Where's it at? I think it's Isaiah and Ezekiel, like God's thrones in the north as well. Oh, here we go. Isaiah 14:13. For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven, I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will sit also in the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. The mount of congregation in the sides of the north, right? Babylon must fall for the slain of Yisrael. Interesting. Jubilees 49. 1,000 Egyptians were killed for every single child of Israel they killed. As the slain of all the earth have fallen because of Babylon, you survivors of the sword, go, do not linger. Remember Yahuwah in a distant land. Remember, let Jerusalem come into your mind. instructions. We are put to shame, for we have heard insults. Dishonor has covered our faces, for strangers have come into the holy places of Yahuwah's house. Also, Ezekiel 33, 36, strangers have taken over his inheritance. Therefore, the time is surely coming, says Yahuwah, when I'll punish her idols, and through all her land the wounded shall groan, though Babylon shall mount up to heaven, and though she shall fortify her strong height. From me destroyers will come upon her, says Yahuwah. Listen, a cry from Babylon, a great crashing from the land of the Chaldeans, for Yahuwah is laying Babylon waste and stilling her loud clamor. Their waves roar like mighty waters. People. The sound of their clamor resounds, for a destroyer has come against her, against Babylon. Her warriors are taken, their bows are broken. Long chapter. For Yahuwah is a God of recompense, he will repay in full. I'll make her officials and her sages drunk, also her governors, her deputies, her warriors. They shall sleep a perpetual sleep and never wake, says the king, whose name is Yahuwah of hosts. Thus says Yahuwah of hosts, the broad wall of Babylon shall be leveled to the ground, and her high gates shall be burned with fire. The peoples exhaust themselves for nothing, the nations only for fire, and they have become weary. The word that the prophet Jeremiah commanded Sariah, son of Neriah, son of Maaseiah, when he went with King Zedekiah of Yehuda to Babylon in the 4th year of his reign. Sariah was the quartermaster. Jeremiah wrote in a scroll all the disasters that would come on Babylon, all these words that are written concerning Babylon. So we're switching here. This is previous. It could be future. And Jeremiah said to Sariah, when you come to Babylon, see that you read all these words and say, "O Yahuwah," so that's previous. "You yourself threaten to destroy this place so that neither man nor animal shall live in it, and it shall be desolate forever. When you finish reading the scroll, tie a stone to it and throw it in the middle of the Euphrates, and say, thus shall Babylon sink to rise no more because of the disasters that I am bringing on her." Thus far the words of Jeremiah. And I got to finish it. I'm right here at it. Oh my goodness, that's long. That's long. No, it ain't too bad. Okay. 52. Zedekiah was 21 years old when he began to reign. He reigned 11 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name was Hamutal, daughter of Jeremiah of Libnah. He did what was evil in the sight of Yahuwah, just as Jehoiakim had done. Indeed, Jerusalem and Yehuda so angered Yahuwah that he expelled them from his presence. Zedekiah rebelled against the king of Babylon, and in the 9th year of his reign, in the 10th month, on the 10th day of the month, King Nebuchadrezzar of Babylon came with all his army against Jerusalem, and they laid siege to it. They built siege works against it all around, so the city was besieged until the 11th year of King Zedekiah. And you can slow the video down if you need to, if I'm talking too fast. On the 9th day of the 4th month, the famine became so severe in the city that there was no food for the people of the land. Then a breach was made in the city wall, and all the soldiers fled and went out from the city by night by the way of the gate between the two walls by the king's garden. Though the Chaldeans were all around the city, they went in the direction of the Arabah, but the army of the Chaldeans pursued the king and overtook Zedekiah in the plains of Jericho, and all his army was scattered, deserting him. Then they captured the king and brought him up to the king of Babylon at Riblah in the land of Hamath, and he passed sentence on him. The king of Babylon killed the sons of Zedekiah before his eyes, and also killed all the officers at Yehuda at Riblah. He put out the eyes of Zedekiah and bound him in fetters, and the king of Babylon took him to Babylon and put him in prison until the day of his death. In the 5th year, on the 10th day of the month, which was the 19th year of King Nebuchadrezzar, king of Babylon, Nebuzaradan, the captain of the bodyguard who served the king of Babylon, entered Jerusalem. He burned the house of Yahuwah, the king's house, and all the houses of Jerusalem. Every great house he burned down. All the army of the Chaldeans who were with the captain of the guard broke down the walls around Jerusalem. Nebuzaradan, the captain of the guard, carried into exile some of the poorest of the people and the rest of the people who were left in the city, and the deserters who had defected to the king of Babylon, together with the rest of the artisans. But Nebuzaradan, the captain of the guard, left some of the poorest people of the land to be vine dressers and tillers of the soil. The pillars of bronze that were in the house of Yahuwah, and the stands and the bronze sea that were in the house of Yahuwah, the Chaldeans broke in pieces and carried all the bronze to Babylon. They took away the pots, the shovels, the snuffers, the basins, the ladles, and all the vessels of bronze used in the temple service. The captain of the guard took away the small bowls, also the fire pans, the basins, the pots, lampstands, the ladles, and all the bowls for libation, both of those of gold and those of silver. As for 2 pillars, the one sea, the 12 bronze bulls that were under the stands, which King Solomon had made for the house of Yahuwah, the bronze of all these vessels was beyond weighing, As for the pillars, the height of the one pillar was 18 cubits, its circumference was 12 cubits, it was hollow, and its thickness was 4 fingers. Upon it was a capital of bronze. The height of the capital was 5 cubits. Lattice work and pomegranates, all of bronze, encircled the top of the capital. And the second pillar had the same with pomegranates. There were 96 pomegranates on the sides. All the pomegranates encircling the lattice work numbered 100. The captain of the guard took the chief priest, Sariah, the second priest, Zephaniah, and the 3 guardians of the threshold. That's interesting. Zephaniah. From the city, he took an officer who had been in command of the soldiers, 7 men of the king's council who were found in the city, the secretary of the commander of the army who mustered the people of the land, and 60 men of the people of the land who were found inside the city. Then Nebuzaradan, the captain of the guard, took them and brought them to the king of Babylon at Riblah, and the king of Babylon struck them down and put them to death at Riblah in the land of Hamath. So Judah went into exile out of its land. This is the number of the people whom Nebuchadrezzar took into exile in the 7th year, 3,023 Judeans. That's not many. In the 18th year of Nebuchadrezzar, he took into exile from Jerusalem 832 persons. In the 23rd year of Nebuchadrezzar, Nebuzaradan, the captain of the guard, took into exile of the Judeans 745 persons. All the persons were 4,600. That can't be everybody that was there. And it's at different years. 7th year, 23rd year, 18th year. In the 37th year of the exile of King Jehoiakim of Yehuda, in the 12th month, on the 25th day of the month, King Evil-Merodach, of Babylon, in the year he began to reign, showed favor to King Jehoiakim of Yehuda and brought him out of prison. He spoke kindly to him and gave him a seat above the seats of the other kings who were with him in Babylon. So Jehoiakim put aside his prison clothes, and every day of his life he dined regularly at the king's table. For his allowance, a regular daily allowance was given him by the king of Babylon as long as he lived, up to the day of his death. He ate at the king's table. Was the king eating clean? Interesting. So that's it. We're done. That was long. All right. Hope that was a blessing and helpful to y'all. And always good to study with you. And if I missed anything, let me know. And yeah. Hey, Mick and Mian. Yep. So, all right. Hope y'all have a good rest of Sabbath if you're keeping Sabbath. And if you're not, you should think about it. God made it, sanctified it on the 7th day at creation, and he didn't unsanctify it. If Messiah or anybody else, including Paul, spoke against the Sabbath or changed the Sabbath, they would be considered a false prophet by God's law. So they can't do that. So Hebrews chapter 4, people of God, keep Sabbath. Happy Sabbath.